Yeah. Started. Oh, here they come. Yep. Okay. We're doing it. Here it is. The Morrigan. The Morrigan, also known as Morrigu, I don't know, Merigu, I'm not sure, is a figure from Irish mythology. The name is Mor Riogain in modern Irish. It has been translated as the Great Queen or the Phantom Queen. Morrigan is mainly associated with war and fate. Now remember, sovereignty of the land encompasses both. Okay? Especially, hold on, with foretelling doom, death, or victory in battle. Because, see, she held a pure flame of what right action was. She was the law in living form. The embodiment thereof. The sovereignty goddess. In this role, she often appears as a crow, the Bab. She incites warriors to battle and can help bring about victory. See, so she's inspiring, she's motivating, but only if you are honoring the sanctity of the land. Otherwise, you'll be motivated to war and then you'll be destroyed. Right? Anyway. She incites warriors to battle and can help bring about victory over the enemies. The Morrigan encourages warriors to do brave deeds. That doesn't sound evil to me. See? All the later Arthurian tales, what did they do? They made the Morrigan evil. That's bullshit. Queen of demons? No. Queen of the underworld, more likely. Strikes fear into their enemies, right? Morrigan encourages warriors to do brave deeds, and she strikes fear into their enemies, and is portrayed washing the blood-stained clothes of those fated to die. She is most frequently seen as a goddess of battle and war, and has also been seen as a manifestation, here it is, of the earth and sovereignty goddess, chiefly representing the goddess's role as guardian of the territory and its people. Why is the world in trouble? They forgot that. Or it was attacked. Got it? Weakened. So it needs to be strengthened, right? In order to, let's say, internal sovereignty and you maintaining boundaries. Highest form of communication, interdependence. Step down, independence. Bottom level, codependence. Relatable. Okay. The Morrigan is often described as a trio of individuals, all sisters, called the Three Morrigna. Membership of the triad varies sometimes. It is given as Bab, Maka, and Nemain. I would go so far to say those were offices of title, and that those names meant things. They would have been an ongoing tradition. That's my opinion. While elsewhere, it is given as Bab, Maka, and Anan. The latter is given as another name for the Morrigan. It is believed that these were all names of the same goddess. Different aspects, right? The three Morrigna are also named as sisters of the three land goddesses, Eriu, Banba, and Fodla. The Morrigan is described as the envious wife of the Dogda and a shape-shifting goddess, while Bab and Nemain are said to be the wives of Neet or Niet. She is associated with the Banshee of later folklore, right? So there again is another adaptation, aspect transformation, or override possibility, making her into evil. But you see, the banshee may not have been bad. She may have been a guardian over the family, as I've learned from other studies with other people. Okay. Etymology. There is some disagreement over the meaning of the Morrigan's name. That's intentional, right? Most likely. Mor may derive from an Indo-European root connoting terror, monstrousness, cognate with the Old English mer, which survives in the modern English word nightmare. And the Scandinavian, there's your Scandinavian connection, Mara. Here's something interesting someone will find interesting as connection to this. And the Old East Slavic, Mara. Huh. Interesting. Nightmare. While Regan translated as Phantom Queen. This is the derivation generally favored in current scholarship. All right. By whom? They didn't mention, but whatever. In the Middle Irish period, the name is often spelled Morrigan with a lengthening diacritic over the O, seemingly intended to mean great queen. Now, the symbol of the circle, the O, right? Incorporated into language, yes. However, ancient in origin and meaning, right? The circle has always represented the goddess, in my opinion, of course. Old Irish, more, meaning great, right? Great queen. This would derive from the hypothetical Proto-Celtic Mara Reganis. Okay, whatever. Regani, and then as a slash and an S. Okay. Whitley Stokes believed this later spelling was due to a false etymology popular at the time. There have been attempts by modern writers to link the Morrigan with the Welsh literary figure. Here it is, Morgan Le Fay. See, that's where the overwrite started in, and they started trashing her and making her an evil, you know, slutty character or whatever it is. But you know what? I don't know. It would be the opposite of what the sovereignty goddess was, and that's what they do. They invert reality, all right, for their own gain. Morgan Le Fay from the Mater of Britain, in whose name more may derive, here it is, from Welsh word for sea, as a mermaid, right? Merlin, Mirden, but Mirde meant excrement, M-E-R-D-E, But the names are derived and branch tree. And to me, that shows multicultural connection. Multiple tribes that may have grown from one seed root and then branched out. That's my opinion, of course. Interesting. So they're trying to equate her with the Hebrew Lilith. Now, nope. Not in my opinion. The gloss explains this as a monster in form. See? So she's turned into a ugly monster. And who's putting that in there? Okay. Ulster cycle. I think we kind of know this. Cattle rate of Cooley. Some of this is repeat from the last article, so I'm going to keep moving. All right. Ooh. Nature and role. This is good. The Morrigan is often considered a triple goddess, but this triple nature is ambiguous and inconsistent, is it? Or do they want it to be ambiguous and inconsistent so it is hard to track what reality is? Well, who will say? Whoever does. These triple appearances are partially due to the Celtic significance of threeness. I would take that beyond Celtic. I would take that to the Nordic as well. Okay, my opinion. Among others, there's just so many connections among all these different cultural groups that are interrelated, different tribal families. And that's what it really comes back to, is families. Got it? All this wisdom came from somewhere, right? It didn't just poof out of the air. It was given, it was found, it was discovered, it was studied, it was gained, it was earned. But those who are greedy do not want to earn anything. They steal knowledge, but they lack wisdom. Therefore, it becomes destructive. Sometimes she appears as one of the three sisters, the daughters of Imas, Morrigan, Bab, and Mocha. Sometimes the Trinity consists of Bab, Mocha, and Anand. So repeating, right? So together, imagine those three sisters could fuse into one. Whoa. Let's say they started to float above the ground, radiating what I call folk soul light. Total mastery of all elements. So I'm going to go into the Arthurian just slightly. It'll be very minute. Okay? It's short. There have been attempts by some modern researchers and authors of fiction to link Morgan Le Fay with Morrigan. That was done intentionally, trying to trash her again. Morgan first appears in Geoffrey of Monmouth's Vita Merlini. Again, Latin overwrite, and then that would be post-Charlemagne, which is 1066, right? 12th century. What's up? In some Arthurian legends, such as Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, remember I associated the Green Knight with possibly Robin Hood, or the Wild Man of the Wood, the Wild Poet, the Druid. Got it? Morgan is portrayed, but you notice he got downplayed, and then they took his character and made him subservient to the feudal system. That is not an accident, nor is it the add-on of the Crusades, which were probably in large part due to the destruction of more pagan culture. Intentional to disrupt the sovereignty of the land and take it. But they aren't honoring the sovereignty of the land. They are only dominating the land. That's not sovereignty. It's different, in my opinion, of course. Morgan is portrayed as a hag whose actions, now remember, hag Tess, it's blowing hard now. Woo, right when I said that. Hag Tess, whose actions set in motion a bloody trail of events. Well, I'm saying hag Tess because that is the origin. It was a title of respect originally. Then again, the script is flipped, and hag becomes an insult, just like witch did. I've heard so many people use that as a curse word. I don't. And I called somebody on it when he did that. He used it in terms to a lady. He shut his mouth. That was his ass. Just kidding. Get aggressive. Become like Morgan. You know what I mean? When you do something I don't like, it's dishonorable. Events that lead the hero into numerous instances of danger. More, but those are also tests, rites of passage. Morrigan is also depicted, here it is again, as a seductress. Bullshit. There's your prostitute overwrite horse shit. No. Could she do that? Could she deceive and mess with people who were deceptive? Now, could that happen? Possible. But if you were honorable and good, and you honored your connection with her, she would have no reason to do that, right? So this is where I come with the overwrite, overlay, the priestess is being thrown out, Catholicism and Protestantism, whatever, becoming dominant, right? And then the demotion of the goddess, especially the sovereignty goddess, most sacred to the ancient. That is what they went after. Much like the older legends of the Morrigan, and has numerous lovers whom she might be even abducting for this purpose. Now remember, she has power over the land. So in a way, she can kind of do what she wants to a point. She has rules. as in some stories of Lancelot and Ogier the Dane. Oh, the Dane, huh? Now remember, Lancelot was connected to Lou in the other readings I did from the Warriors of Arthur book. Okay. The character is frequently depicted as wielding power over others to achieve her own purposes. Well, if she has the sovereignty of the land, then she has the right to do that. Okay? Allowing those actions to play out over time to the benefit or detriment of other characters. That's right. Because she rules over the land and she has the long sight, which means she has the long game. There are reasons she is doing what she is doing beyond comprehension of the average person, obviously. However, while the creators of the literary character of Morrigan may have been somewhat inspired by the much older tales of the goddess, the relationship ends there. Thank you very much. Badass. Scholars such as Rosalind Clark, I think Clark is, and I don't know, Irish something. I'll have to look it up. I'm sure it means something. Rosalind Clark hold that the names are unrelated. Goddamn right they are. Fucking overlay. I get pissed off. Sorry. The Welsh Morgan. Why do I keep going back to the Welsh? Wales being the original source of the matter of Britain. Being derived from the root words associated with the sea. So that is also sovereignty over the sea. While the Irish Morrigan has its roots either in a word for terror or a word of greatness. I'm going to say greatness. Now, I'm done with that article. That was a Wikipedia reference. Okay. So, moving forward, why is BOBCAT so hardcore about the goddess? I just told you. Let there be no doubt. I live in a way where I say, okay, if I honor the sovereignty goddess, she will come to my aid. If I am dishonorable, she will not. And it's that simple, cut and dry. That is the root. Sovereignty goddess being honored. Now, if I were a woman currently at this time, which I am not, I would be heavily covering this. Big time. Especially coming up on St. Patrick's Day, that I consider an offensive and a reminder of the disrespect of the sovereignty goddess. That is central. I can feel it. When I started talking about it, the wind started kicking up all around me. I said Morrigan, and then whoa. So like I said, I'm not holding back. I'm out here in the open, stating reality as I view it. And so that's all I'm going to say about that. But that was the Wikipedia article. Now, as it goes on, I will get more and more studied, right? Archaeological stuff, more, but it has to be intuitionally guided, or you're just lost in the details. That's the dangerous part of overcomplicating shit. Get down to the basics. Honoring the sovereignty goddess, therefore, honors your connection to the land, period. So what do I have to say? And this has been my focus, but I knew people would be blinded because they are distracted, either by emotional problems or whatever they got, but they are not focused. I see almost no one covering what I am right now. Well, I want Morrigan on my side. That's all I can say. And she got nothing to do with Morgan Le Fay. That's for show. It's an overlay override, dishonoring of the sovereignty of the goddess and the land. Be a curse on them, curse on their head. Morrigan, as a crow circles overhead, she's gonna choose victory, or she has the right of the sovereignty of the land. Oh, ancient as the wood and stone, ancient as wood and stone. Fire in the head, inspiration, Sean, inspiration, rising in the flame from the goddess of sovereignty, flame, tree, and world. Deep down they say, won't you walk my way? Sweet as a summer rain, oh, as it falls down, fall down on me, rain down on me, goddess of sovereignty. Oh, as shows the windows, shake, shake, shaking like a leaf. Oh, as the sun shines down, won't you shine on me? Shining we, goddess of sovereignty, grandmother, grandmother on the way, grandfather stand, oh, grandfather say yes, to honor the goddess of sovereignty all the way. True heart's flame. Whoa, goddess on the way, shining in me, deep down in heart and soul. Heart's flame when there's nothing left. Give it all away, but I wouldn't give you away. I even give myself away. I'm with you forevermore. Just say I want you to stay. I want you to stay. I want you to stay. I do it for you, my love. Do it for you, grandmother. Goddess of my heart and soul. Hold the flame. Hold the flame. Drink from the well. gather round the trees. Oh, show us the ocean and the seven seas. You're floating over the water and the land. Shine, shine, deep down, deep down, deep within, deep within our soul. Hold the flame I Morrigan, Morrigan, Morrigan. Goddess of the land, the sky and the sea, shows the flame nose burn. Ancient is the way, ancient is the origin, heart's flame. Oh, her shores the windows blow, shores the windows blow, shores the windows blow. Morrigan, Morrigan, Morrigan. Oh, Morrigan shows a crow as the crow circles overhead. Shows a crow